Excellency Secretary General of United Nations, Your Excellency former Secretary General of United Nations, Your Excellency Director on the Center on International Cooperation at New York University, Your Excellency, all distinguished members of the delegation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the good meeting organizations. So, let me inform you about the global case of COVID-19, resourced by WHO. Until now, we have 27.6 million cases in the global case. Then we have 18.6 million recovered. Then we have 898,000 died. So we have 5 countries with the highest COVID-19 case. The first one is US, the second is India, the third is Brazil, Russia, and Peru. Based on statistical data above, we know that cases of COVID-19 are always increasing every day, and people who die are always increasing. Although we still have hope for people who have recovered. So the bottom line is that the world is not doing well right now. We are faced with something that is invisible but capable of killing millions of people, and of course, all countries are struggling with this problem. While most countries are struggling to face with the pandemic, some countries are facing an even bigger border due to the various conflicts that are still happening, creating instability amidst the pandemic. So how should all countries cooperate in building peace to face these complicated security situations? Madam President, in the name of Indonesia, I'm truly honored to be here to discuss about our important things, that is regarding the pandemic and the challenging of peace building. Ladies and gentlemen, global security conditions in the midst of the pandemic like this are not things we usually face together. Security, which is usually associated with problems in the field and will be easily resolved if already in the field. But this time is really different. We are faced with a security situation which is quite difficult to resolve. So that is, at this time we have to draw attention to the increasingly complex security issues in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. Conflict will indeed continue to occur, but it depends how we deal with in different situations, especially in the midst of pandemic like this. The pandemic has made it difficult for peacekeepers to mediate conflict in the field. Distinguished delegates. Therefore, the challenge we face together to build peace must be focused on finding effective form of support for countries that have experienced post-conflict in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, the important role of the UN Security Council in protecting civilians in the midst of the pandemic through a ceasefire. As stated in Resolution 2532, it is called for support for the Secretaries General of the United Nations so that all parties involved in the conflict carry out a conflict ceasefire and humanitarian pause, so that can help distribute health care assistance to the health facilities during the uneven COVID-19 pandemic can be resolved. So we need to advance peace during this pandemic. In the line with the 75th celebration of Indonesian independence, namely Indonesian Advancing or Indonesia Maju, that Indonesia will always support and seek solution and participate in peace building amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about this case, allow me to highlight three main points that we need to pay attention to in response to the increasing global challenge in effort to maintain world peace amid the pandemic. So, the first one is the aspect of peace building needs to be part of the comprehensive pandemic response. Furthermore, we need to ensure the inclusive participation of local stakeholders in peace-building effort. Another priority is also to create a conclusive international environment to support effort to peace building during a pandemic. The second one is we need to pay attention that effort to build peace requires synergy between working bodies in the UN system. In this case, the UN must integrate a conflict-sensitive approach in the pandemic response conflict. A conflict truce and humanitarian pause will enable the timely distribution of COVID-19 assistance and treatment to civilians in conflict. So, then third, it is important to optimize the use of limited resource for peace-building effort, as the majority of conflict-affected countries are faced with a difficult choice between spending on health infrastructure or peace building. In this context, Indonesia underlined the UN Secretary General's latest report on peace development and defense, which noted a decrease in the portion of foreign aid for peace building in countries affected by conflict. Innovative funding such as South-South and triangular cooperation and philanthropic institutions are essential in dealing with the situations. Excellencies, amid the increasing uncertainty caused by the pandemic, peace-building efforts and sustainable peace efforts are becoming increasingly difficult to implement. However, together we must be optimistic. The crisis situation can be paved the way for peace. Let us use the momentum to further advance peace. Madam President, in closing, I want to make sure that Indonesia will never tire and stop promoting and supporting the United Nations resolution in achieving peace amid the pandemic. Thank you very much indeed.